Brennan got as defensive as he did because everything that Emily's friend said was true. I don't think her friend said anything super, super out of pocket, which is why he got defensive. He was resistant. Claire is not the issue. It's Cameron. It's Cameron. I promise y'all it's Cameron. Claire is not doing. I mean, Claire's not innocent, but Cameron is the problem, okay? Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, Cameron is the problem, all right? But before we get into that, I'm Tammy. This is TammyTalks. We are here tonight to talk Married at First Sight Denver, Season 17, Episode 9, Wigging Out. Before we jump right into it, if you are brand new to the channel or a returning viewer that is just not yet subscribed to the channel, here is your chance, okay? So, I am roughly 250 subscribers away from reaching my year-end goal of 20,000 subscribers. So, if you're brand new and at any point throughout this video I make you smile or smirk or even cringe, I have successfully done my job. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. If you've been rocking with me and you just have not yet subscribed, come on. What have I done that you have not yet subscribed? All right, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, y'all. Shout out to the 182 of you last I checked that subscribed from last week's video. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys have no idea. Thumbs up the video, leave comments down below. Let's get right into it, y'all. So Lauren and Orion, why were they on my screen tonight? Look, y'all. I feel like when people decide to divorce, you don't come back on the screen, okay? So, nobody cares. I wrote down one sentence for each of them, because why are y'all here? Made me so mad. Orion is friends and said that his family is upset he didn't get what he wanted. That you didn't give what you wanted out of the process. Go play in somebody else's face, Orion. Lauren feels pain and resentment. Next week, they're talking again. Why are we still talking? What is there to talk about? Some of y'all said in the comments that I guess Orion began to regret what he did, and he discussed that on the after party. Bye. You had a chance to move on from that. You chose not to. Don't get on our nerves with this. We don't want to see y'all. I don't want to see y'all. Moving on. Cameron and Claire. Let's start there. So, Claire takes Cameron some lunch at work. She gets there, and I thought she was going to have, like, some lunch. She had a half a sandwich because she ate the other half. I said, oh, girl. But she goes to visit him at work, and she once again asks him if he ever gets bored. He once again likens what he does to a surgeon. Look, I'm sorry. Don't ask me if I get bored at work. I will never forget a couple years ago. So I am currently a digital product specialist, right? A couple of years ago, I was a termination registration analyst. So I was over somebody's house and their mom was like, so what do you do? I said what my job was, and his mom was like, oh, that sounds boring. And I said, oh, not your mama being childish. Like, I just kind of feel like, don't call nobody's job boring. You know what I mean? Like, Claire, do you get bored at your job? I just kind of feel like that's weird, right? Cameron, you are not a surgeon, okay? You cannot compare somebody that is like a cardiac surgeon or some other type of surgeon to what you do to fix a bike. You cannot compare the two. And I get what you're trying to do with it, but don't. So she then asked him if he's passionate about his job. And he said not only is he passionate about it, but he's good at it. So he then gives her some safety glasses, his little smock, and they proceed to fix a bike together. I'll say this, Claire's a good sport because she really be down for everything. She tried that Vegemite. She got into that paint war, you know, got her little crochet top and whatever, her little mom shorts, got them dirty. Like, I feel like she's a good sport when it comes to him. I think Claire is trying more than Cameron is. I do. I do, and I know a lot of people see it differently. I wholeheartedly think that she is trying more than he is. So they're getting ready for their party. They have these housewarming parties. Y'all know typically there's a theme. We haven't seen a good crop of housewarming parties since Woody and Armani. Woody and Armani party was bussin'. I will never forget their party. Hell, even Miles and Karen's party was good. That entire season, everybody's party was good, but these were terrible. So Claire is sitting there and she's blowing up balloons, I guess, that have confetti inside. And Cameron comes home and she's like, "Where's the food?" He didn't bring no food home. Now, I don't know if this was at first I thought that he didn't know he was supposed to, but he did. So he's like more so focused on these balloons, and it's like, if they pop, there's gonna be confetti everywhere. Let's be real. Let's be real. The little bit of air breath that she's blowing up into them balloons, they're not going to pop easily. They're not extremely fragile. You know what I mean? So the fact that he was like kind of harping on that got on my nerves. But then he's like, there's a bunch of food places everywhere. We can just order food then. So she then asks why his friend isn't coming. And he was like, "Oh, my friends are getting ready to go on a trip. They're getting prepared for that." I'm going to say this. Whenever people use stuff like that as like getting ready for a trip or something like that as a reason to why you can't come over for maybe 2.5 hours, that's bull. They just didn't want to come, or you didn't invite them. I am willing to bet money that he did not invite them. That's how I feel about that. Like the fact that, like, so all your friends, every single friend that you know, every single person you know, Cam, can't none of them people come. They all going on the same trip together, going somewhere with their bub. So they're having an anything but the cup party. He was supposed to have a Folgers can. He didn't even bring his anything but the cup. So he's drinking out of a vase, and it's like. So then she's like, "Well, let's what are we gonna do for food? I like to plan." That's me. Like, I'm not type A by any means, but I also kind of feel like if I'm having a party, if we're having something which is pre-planned, there's absolutely no reason for us not to have the food situation sorted out. Food and liquor are like the two top important things of a party. So he's like, "There's an empanada place. We can just order a bunch of food." And she's like, "That's fine. Let's just make a plan." So he sits down and he orders the food, or he's looking at the app or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, you can't set a time, so I guess the food is going to be ready in 15 minutes." And I'm like, "What do you mean? We have all DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmated, or just ordered stuff on an app before. Before you confirm and place the order, you know if you can select a further time." Cam did that shit on purpose. I'm sorry. I feel like he does stuff on purpose to get a rise out of her. You can't tell me that this overgrown ass man that owns his own business did not know how to order on the app and did not realize that the fucking food was going to be ready within 15 minutes when you did not select a future date and time. What is wrong with him? He gets on my nerves. I'd have been told them this ain't gonna work with me. So she's like irritated, and he's like, "Well, the food is gonna be cold." Now, no shit, Sherlock. It's your fault. She takes accountability for this and said that it's my fault for saying, "Let's order the food now." No, it's not. It's his fault for being a dumbass and not reading through the app. Okay. So we get to the housewarming party. There's no theme, just party. It's not a party because she had 3 of her friends come. So the one friend comes in. Oh, before that, she comes in. She's dressed. He got on a little t-shirt. He don't care to get dressed for the party. We see you in a collared shirt every other time. Now tonight, for the party to meet some more of her friends, you choose to wear a graphic tee. So she comes in and she's like, "Is the food warming up? Is the oven on?" And he's like, "The food is warm." And she's like, "So okay, no." And I felt her. It's not her being snappy. It's not her being rude. It's like, open them little bitty lips that you have, them two pieces of skin that you call lips. Open them up and talk. I can't stand like the way that he talks in circles about things. It's a yes or no question. Did you warm up the food? I mean, it's the oven's on. No, no, no. So she goes and she opens it, and he's like, the oven is warm, and she's like, no, it's not. It's cold. So he's like, well, the food looks bad anyways. I think the food is dry. Now I'm gonna tell you this: even if you do order food a couple hours early, what did y'all do? Leave it sitting out? Why is it all dried up and cold at this point? So she then was like, well, this is my fault for ordering the food 5 hours early. What happened to 2 hours? Now, Claire, was the party 5 hours from now? No, it was two. Where did five come from? Why did she say five? Maybe she meant to say two. So they're at the housewarming. I don't even want to call it a party. They're at the housewarming, and one of her friends, the female friend that she had, is asking him, so what do your parents or your dad feel, or how does your dad or your parents feel about this? He was like, oh, my dad doesn't know. And Clara was like, oh, I didn't know that. And then he is like, well, what do you tell a man that's on his deathbed? I said, absolutely not, Cameron. Absolutely not. One, you said it with attitude as if she knew. Two, you said it very condescendingly. Three, why the fuck would you say it like that? Why? Why did you say it like that? So Claire is like, whoa, I didn't know that. That's pretty big, which, and is. I feel like that is definitely something that should have been noted. So what killed me is on Twitter, the way y'all were like, oh, well, why didn't you ask him? And she only cares about her family. No. No. Because the basic conversation is never going to be, hey, Cameron, is your dad alive or not? Is he dying? No? Okay, great. How is he? That's not how that works. That's not how that works. We have seen Claire ask that man about his family. We have seen it. We've seen it. So that is up to him to produce that information to tell her. That is up to him. My grandfather died. One of them died when I was 4. The other one I didn't meet because my mom's father died when she was 13, right? So when people would ask about grandparents, I would always say my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, my paternal grandmother. One lived to be 95, the other lived to be 92. So we had some time with them well into my adult years, right? So if somebody were to ask about like my grandparents, I would never be like, well, just my grandma's going to come because my grandfather's dead. Like, that's not how that works. You know what I mean? That's not how that happens. That is up to Cameron to be forthcoming with that information. There's so many things that are wrong with this. The fact that he, one, blurted it out with an attitude as if we knew. Then two, the fact that he's saying it in mixed company. He said it like Clara should know. So now it's awkward. So then she's like, well, what would your father say if he didn't know? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Now, Claire, that probably wasn't the best thing to ask, but I see what she was trying to do with it, right? So then the other two male friends come in, and they asked, would you get married at first sight again? And he was like, no, I would never do it again, but I'm happy that I did. And it's, I guess. So he goes and talks to her male friends, and he said that he feels that he gets the bigger burden of the emotional stress. He likes her. He said he falls deeper in love with her every day, but he feels like he's sinking instead of swimming. And I'll say this. Do I think that Claire is kind of guarded when it comes to him? Absolutely. Right? 100% she is. But a big part of that a huge part of that is because he's a condescending asshole too. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the stuff that he says to her is very like matter of factly. He's very condescending. He's very defensive. They don't have organic conversations. It is not all her. I feel like she is honestly trying with this man. She's trying. So he then tells her friends that he does not want to raise his kids to be religious. She wants to raise her kids to be religious. So this is what we need to do moving forward, married at first sight, okay? In between the STD tests and probably finding out if these people have kids and credit scores and all this type of stuff, we need to start putting on the application, what is your religious affiliation? Are you open to other things? I don't know. Did Cameron say he's an atheist? Listen, I'm just gonna say I could be wrong, but let's say Cameron is an atheist, and now you have him with this Catholic woman. It's not gonna work. You have Becca, who is agnostic, and you have Austin, who is Christian. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I don't like, what are we doing married at first sight? Two couples that are having religious, spiritual issues? Come on. Come on. So later, after everybody leaves, Claire lets Cameron know that she was taken aback at, finding out about his father in that manner. And she was like, because I have asked you about your parents. We get the flashback, roll that beautiful Bing footage where she's asking him, so do your parents know about this? And he did not answer. He deflected. Now, I'm not saying that he should have came out right away and been like, well, my dad's on his deathbed, but there is a way that he could have said, my dad is super sick right now, so because of that, I didn't tell him, but my mom knows, my brother knows, and they're super, super excited. There's a way that you can do that, but for you to blurt it out, then for him to be like, you never asked about it, nobody's going to say, hey, are your parents alive? Okay. Are they in good health? Right? Okay. So did you tell him about this? That's not how that works. That's just not how that works. So he's in his confessionals claiming that he likes her, but she's not giving him energy because you do stuff like this, Cameron. That's the thing. I feel like Cameron just wants to fuck, right? But you do things like this. Here's a situation where that could have been a great one-on-one conversation between the two of y'all that could have produced more intimacy. I feel like Cameron is looking solely at the physical. He wants to fuck. And because that's what he has his mindset on, the fact that she's not giving him the type of physical energy that he needs, even though she told him she is more of an emotional person first, he's not like understanding that. You're the problem, my good sir. You are the problem. So we then move over to Austin and Becca. I keep telling y'all he don't like her. He don't like her. He does not like that lady. So it's her birthday. Yay, happy birthday, Becca. We love her birthday, right? So they're out with some of her friends at lunch. She said Austin is good at communicating. I said, since when? Y'all don't communicate about anything. Y'all don't talk about anything serious. Y'all don't have the adult big girl, big boy conversations. Anytime anybody says anything about communication, you guys are like, yeah, we do great on it. Yeah. Because y'all aren't talking about the big issues. Remember, he wanted to wait to talk about the bigger issues until, I guess, now. Y'all haven't talked about anything. So her friends ask if they are having sex. And he said no because he is the slow one. He don't like her. He doesn't like her. I honestly think he doesn't want her to get too attached because more than likely, and this is no dig to her, he's not comfortable with her health issues. It could be that. Not saying that it is, but it could be. So he gets up, leaves the table. Her friends say, we love him and they can deal with the whole Jesus thing. I said, ooh, I didn't like that. That stung. She then tells her friends that he's the first guy that she's been with as an adult that has not wanted to have sex right away. She's ready, but it does cause her to kind of wonder if he likes her. He don't. You don't even have to wonder about it, sis. I can tell you. He don't. He doesn't. So at their housewarming party, which they didn't have a theme either, I don't even think they had food. They had a charcuterie board, but okay. We find out that Austin's best friend is an atheist. So he's like, it's never, his religion has never been an issue in the past. Their friendship doesn't have an issue, but romantically, he does not think that's been an issue for Austin. Here's the thing, friend, you don't know if that has been an issue in his relationships in the past. He could have been, romantically linked to other Christians. I kind of feel like you can't compare somebody's friend being an atheist to, and it's okay, as opposed to if he's gonna want to be married to and have children with an agnostic. You know what I mean? Both my best friend is Catholic, right? My best friend is Catholic. Catholic is different than Christian. I am Christian. There are different things that we've talked about that we disagree on, but I'm not married to her ass, so I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? It's different than if I'm dating a dude and he is Catholic, then it's like, okay, now we have different things to work out. And I just kind of feel like I get his friend was trying to be helpful, but it really wasn't, because it's not the same thing. Meanwhile, Becca is saying how her issue is how people let religion dictate how they treat people in a negative way. And I feel like the same could be said in reverse, because it's coming across as you, Becca, you're doing way more judging of him and questioning his character and questioning his motives than he is of you. And it could be because, Austin with this porn stash doesn't really talk. But like, he's not making a big deal about it. You are. You're so worried that he is going to, try to convert you to Christianity, and you think he's going to impose all his morals and beliefs and values that he has taken from being a Christian onto you, when it seems more like you want to impose your morals and values and what you have taken from being agnostic and put it onto him. That's what it's coming across as. He's not mentioning religion at all, which is an issue because he probably should be, but he's not mentioning it at all. So I think it's weird that she's so worried about him looking at her in a negative way, but that's what you're doing to him, sis. That's what you're doing. Becca has had bad instances and bad situations, I think she said she was raised Catholic, right? As a child. If you have moved on from the good word, that's on you. That's your business, I'll say. That's your business. But like, he's not judging you for that. Not that we've seen on camera, but every chance you get, you're so worried about what he's going to do to you in terms of Christianity. So like, I feel like everything she said was such a contradiction. It was hypocrisy at its finest. But so then we get to Brennan and them. I don't like Brennan. Brennan is weird. Brennan's temper is something to see. I think that Brennan really doesn't like her, but he's here, he's just here so he don't get fined, basically. So they have decided that they are going to move in right away. Pastor Cal spoke the good word into them, and we're going to give it our best shot, okay? So they meet up with her friend, Emily does, and tells her friend that Brennan needs to work on opening up more and feels that he should kind of be doing better than he is. I agree. Now, I'm not saying that he needs to be rushing and moving at lightning speed, but I kind of feel like you signed up for this show. You should have had your ass in that apartment day one. It shouldn't have even been all this. You at home making eggs and shit at your house. You should have been making them eggs in that apartment. So they're moving in. He's not trying to help her. She's moving in stuff. Yeah, no, she still ain't got that hand looked at, but she's moving in stuff one by one. And every time she brought something up, he looked at her in disgust. Like he just can't fathom why she's bringing things to stay in this apartment for the next 2 months. God forbid she turned his house into a home. So he said he's overwhelmed because of all the stuff that she brought. He said he brought 2 things and she brought 18. Well, maybe you should have brought 4 things, Brennan. I don't know. I didn't like that he looked in her suitcase. So they're talking about their morning routine. He said that he typically takes quick showers. That's concerning. Get the suds and wash our entire body, not just the hot spots, Brennan, because that's what it's given when you say you take a quick shower. Childish. So he said that he only takes long showers if he's processing. She said, oh, you must have been processing out the ass in Mexico because he took a bunch of long showers while he sat there and ate a fruit by the foot. So they're at their housewarming party. Their theme is wigs. I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't understand the little baby hands. That was creepy to me, but I guess that's something that her and her homegirls do. So Emily mentions that she moved in all her stuff by herself mostly, and he kind of rolled his eyes, and I don't know what for. It was the truth. You didn't help her. You didn't even hold the door. You sat in the kitchen and ate your Cheez-Its. You didn't try to help her at all. If I was her, I'd have said, you gonna help me or not? I thought that was extremely rude. So her friends, they're outside, and her friends are trying to talk to him, and he's staying in character. Oh, I'm Jonah, and I can't talk. And it's like, come on. Like, let's be for serious here. So her friends are saying that, she's a really, really giving person. That's just how she is. She's very caring. He was like, yeah, me too. I like to give more than I like to receive. So her friends was like, so why you ain't give her some help when she was moving in? Brennan said, yeah, in real life, I would have. This is real life, fool. This is real life. What do you mean in real life you would have helped her? This is real life. What this tells me is that in real life, you're not a gentleman. In real life, you wouldn't have helped her. Because it doesn't take for real life. Like, what does that even mean? What does that mean? So her friends then bring up how when they were pulling out their food, because they cooked their own food for the party, that Emily put everything out the oven herself. We get a quick flashback and we see Emily turning around and putting plates and platters down. And he was like, I put everything out the oven. We get a flashback and we see him pulling everything out of the oven. Her friends were like, yeah, you put it out the oven and then turn back around real quick. We're talking about the fact that she then took everything and plated it. So he's trying to play semantics when it comes to this, right? What they're saying is that you left her to do all the work while y'all were both hosting. That's what they're saying. It's not to be taken literal that you only put out 2 trays and she carried 4 platters. It's not to be taken literal. It's about the thing, the whole scenario, in full scope. You pulled the shit out, you turned around, and then you started talking like nothing happened. You didn't ask her if she needed any help doing anything else. That's what they're pointing out. So her friends are saying that, you're difficult. You don't like filming. You don't like doing this. And he's like, you don't know that. Apparently they do because Emily told them. Now, friends, were y'all supposed to repeat the stuff that Emily said? Probably not. But I feel like that stuff must have been true because he's getting defensive. So they then say that they don't think he has the emotional capacity to continue or the emotional capacity for this process. He's like, so should I quit now? And see, here's the thing. We can tell just within this conversation, Brennan, that you don't have the emotional intelligence for this. Coupled with the fact that y'all didn't want to move in. You didn't want to move in right away. Coupled with the fact that Emily has talked to her friends and said that she don't even know if you like her. Coupled with the fact, you know what I mean? Like, there's layers to this. This is just not, them pulling something facetiously out of the air. You are exhibiting that you don't have the emotional intelligence or capacity to move forward in this in an effective way that is going to be, beneficial to both yourself and Emily. So they ask him, what was your purpose for doing this process? He said that, he was on the dating apps and things weren't going, whatever. Everything was a dead end, wasn't going anywhere. So they're asking him again, why did you sign up for this process? You knew that you were going to have to go through this intense, fast-paced process. And I agree. He felt that he was being attacked, but these were true tea questions. You're the same man that when y'all got back from the honeymoon said that you had been around her for too much too soon and you needed to go home and decompress. Everything that they're saying is facts. So they were like, you're being defensive, you're being resistant. And he's like, no, you guys are attacking me. They're actually not. They're asking legitimate questions. You just don't feel that they have you feel that they have the audacity of it all to ask you those questions. That's what it is. You must have thought that Emily was going back and telling her homegirls that you're the greatest and the latest and all that type of thing. And she wasn't. She's being truthful with them. You can't take it. They didn't ask that man anything wrong. These are the same conversations that we see every season from the friends, from the family members. Why did you sign up for the process? Do you think you're ready for the process? What do you expect to get out of the process? These are basic questions. So he tells them, y'all don't know me. She's like, no, we're trying to get to know you now. And you're not answering, which is true. He was too busy trying to, cut them off and ask them why they're asking him, why y'all asking me, why I'm asking you, why you asking me questions. That's what he was doing. And them two girls wasn't going. The one that had the vocal fry, she wasn't going at all. Meanwhile, she's talking to his friends and she's questioning if he is ready for commitment. And I don't think we got an answer. If we did, I zoned out. So after everybody left, Brennan is talking to her and he's like, your friends came at me crazy. I ain't like it. She tells them that, she tells him, no, they're like a reflection of me and they just really care about me. And it's like, Emily, that was the wrong phrase. Because if your friends are truly a reflection of you, then that means that that's how he sees you as badgering and pestering him. Okay? So, but she does apologize. She said that he didn't deserve that. She would not like to be treated that way by his friends. So she apologizes. Next episode looked like Dr. Pia is trying to help them out. He's being very rude to her, trying to feed Emily the answers. That man is controlling, manipulative, psycho, is giving beat me, Ike, beat me, is giving eat the cake anime. I don't like anything of it. I don't like any of the men this season. Austin with this porn stash. Like, what is going on there? Oh my God. Cameron is weird. I told y'all that man has a very deep, dark something going on within him. Brennan is just a pompous ass. Becca is thirsty. Okay? Becca is going to, it's not even self-sabotage. Becca is going to let her dislike of religion keep her from having a cohesive adult conversation about it. Claire is going to give up because Cameron is weird AF, and I feel like Emily is doing the best she can with what she got. And then next episode, we see Lauren and Orion again, and I can't. Nonetheless, why is this 33 minutes? This was supposed to be a 15-minute recap, but if you have made it this far, please hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, hop in the comment section. I will talk to you guys next week. Peace.